you'll hear more about that in a minute. Let me introduce your wonderful football coach for Weber State, Coach Ron McBride, my dear friend.
I've been a football coach for almost 50 years now, so it's been a long time. And one of my passions is the state of Utah and the people in the state. And I absolutely love the state and love the people. And I've known Sam for a number of years, and he's the only man that would represent the people of the state the right way in Washington. And I'm 110% behind Sam.
Thank you.
And we need him to be in that office. This is critical for the state of Utah, that he be elected to this office. Because, politicians a lot of times are full of shit. Forgive my ladies, I apologize for my language, but this man is not. He tells it like it is. He's an honest guy, and he's gonna do the things that the people in the state need, and he's gonna have. I'm a big guy on education. I'm big on young people. I'm big on the future of our state. And right now, every state is suffering from a lot of different things: job losses, jobs, money, all those things. And we need people that can pull us out of this. But the only people that can pull us out of it are people that care about the people that they work with. And that's the key to everything. So I wish I could spend more time helping Sam. Well, I got enough problems. so I got to let Sam float on his own a little bit. But Sam?
Thank you, Coach.
Okay, my pleasure.
I am Sam Granato, as I said a minute ago. I want you to know right now, I fully intend to be your next United States Senator on November 2nd. I got in this race a little over a year and a half ago, and I never figured it would be Bob Bennett at that time that I would be running against. And I'll get into that in a minute. I was born in Salt Lake City in 1950. I turned 60 this past May. I have a name that's not a traditional Utah name, Granato. I was born to an Italian Catholic father who was the first of his family born in America, and he was born in Tooele, Utah. My grandfather, who I didn't know, came to this country, not like most Italian immigrants, for mining or railroad. He came to raise goats, and he raised a lot of goats. He raised them on the hills of Bountiful where a temple sits, and from those goats and the cheese they made, my father would peddle it. Then he'd opened a little store. First he went door to door with a truck to Greek and Italian families. Then he opened a store, and he put in some pastas and oil, and then someone wanted some food service products, big bags of flour, and number 10 cans of tomato products. Well, I lost my father about 20 years ago. And the jury was out. The kid wasn't going to make it 6 months. Well, in the last 20 years, I've tripled what my father started. I hire employees, I meet a payroll, and we're still moving forward. Now, my mother's family came into the valley with Brigham Young. She was Scotch-Irish, and their last name was Sterling. As soon as they got to the valley, they were sent to settle a city called Leeds, Utah, down by St. George. Now, my father wasn't active in his Catholic church. He sent me to church with my mother, where I was raised, and I'm active LDS. But I'll tell you this, that while my father was alive, I probably went on more Catholic pilgrimages than most Catholic priests have ever been on. So I've always been able to enjoy all kinds of people. That's the one vice I have. I love people. I love people that come in to hear me. How are you?
Fine, thanks.
I love that. So, as I got into the business and learned customer service, I also met a lot of different characters, if you will. Politicians. The real politicians, not the one that were worried about the next election. but what they could really do to serve the people. From Cal Rampton to a Gunn McKay to a Wayne Owens. These are people that were good friends of my father's and good friends of mine. There were also a few Republicans thrown in. Throughout the past 20 years, I've served in public service, appointed by both Democrats and Republicans. Homer DePaulis, when he was mayor of Salt Lake, asked me to serve on the very first committee for the homeless. So I volunteered, if you will, went, not knowing what to expect. But what happened was, it got into my blood. I was able to help people find a place to put their heads at night, put food in their bellies, and give them dignity. We served there for about 3 years. Then Randy Moriucci in Salt Lake County came to me and said, we need some help. We have a morale issue in the Salt Lake City County Board of Health. We have gentlemen there that are running it as dictators. We've seen what you did in the city. We see how you run your business. Would you come and help us give a better message? I went there and I served as chair a few of the years I was there, and I was there over 12 years. When I left, it was a better department, and still is a better department, because we made some hard changes. Moved people that were making other people's lives difficult. After that 12-year stint, now listen to this one close, the last best acting Democratic governor we had in this state, best acting, a man named John Huntsman, came to me and said, we've seen what you've done in the county and the city and your business. Would you come and serve on the Department of Alcoholic Beverage Control? That's an industry that everyone in this room is involved in, because we're all citizens of the state of Utah. He said, you know distribution, you know the restaurants, and you know how to run a business. I went there. This past July was 3 years that I've served. And the first meeting, I was nominated and made chairman of that department. And each July since, it changes, and I've maintained the chairmanship. I maintained the chairmanship this year, although I'm running, because I made Governor Huntsman a promise. When I told him, Governor, he had come down, he was meeting at one of my stores. The legislature was still on, so you can see how long I've been in this process, because he was still around before he went to China. He was in one of my boardrooms that he called the war room. He made a lot of big decisions back there. So when I went in to pay my respects, he said, where are we with the liquor laws? How are we going to lose the private clubs? Gave him my plan, told him what legislators on both sides of the aisle I was meeting with. He approved. And then I says, okay, now I have to tell you, I'm going to meet with Wayne Holland, chair of the Democratic Party. He knew that, but in case someone here doesn't know Wayne. He said, listen, he's going to offer you something, and I want you to take it. But understand, you're not getting off the commission until you win. I said, okay. I said, but we might have another issue, Governor. I believe you appointed me as a Republican. I wasn't paying attention. I'm a businessman. I'm not a politician, and I won't be a politician. Till I win, and I'll probably wear that label, but I'm still me. And I'm looking at it as a businessman. He said, I don't care if I put you on as a Republican, I'll change you to a Democrat. Well, the truth was I was put on as an independent. I hadn't known that. Of course, I'm now on there as a Democrat. And I'm happy to be. As I say, I got in this a little over a year and a half ago. Picturing Bob Bennett would not be the person I would run against. I even went up to Bob Bennett at a general priesthood meeting at the conference center in Salt Lake. And I said, Senator Bennett, because he's a rather tall fellow, I'm Sam Granato, and I'm going to run against you on the Democratic ticket. He said, you know, I feel I have enough trouble in my own party. I'd already felt it. He was feeling it. He says, but come on in, we'll have fun. Well, I've had a blast. He hasn't had fun. He's having fun now. And the Monday after that convention, you might recall, as he was taken out so rudely by two Tea Party extremists, and I couldn't have scripted a better opponent because I got the most extreme of all. He is so far right, I think he's coming around left. But that's another story. I called him that Monday.